friends, and welcome to the VonderKnits podcast, episode 19. My name is Kayla and I am your host on this knitting, crocheting, and making YouTube channel. Thank you so much for coming to hang out with me today. It is Sunday, August 18th, 2024, and I have knitting, crocheting, many finished objects to share with you, all the things I've been working on the past month. So if that sounds good, just continue watching, and thank you for coming to hang out. Before we get into finished objects, if you would like to follow me elsewhere on the internet, I can be found on Instagram as VonderKnits and on Ravelry as Kayla VonderKnit. And as always, I will link them below. So, finished objects. First of all, I'm wearing a bucket hat, which is so cute. I didn't plan on wearing it for the podcast, but I popped it on and I'm like, oh, so good. So this pattern is a pattern by PassionKnit Kelsie. It's the Rainbow Swirl Bucket Hat. And look, you start at the top and then you just swirl the colors all around the bucket and then you do a little flare. It is so sweet. I used Big Twist Value from Joann's, and the colorways, I will put them below. I don't remember exactly what they're all called, but they're like varsity red, varsity blue, orange, I think maybe like violet or I don't know, indigo maybe for the purple, but I will put them all below. But yeah, we just start and we swirl through the rainbow. I followed the YouTube tutorial and just followed it exactly, and it's so sweet. I'm actually gonna take it off. But yeah, so it's so sweet. This is what it looks like not on your nog. But yes, I made one. It only took like a few hours, and then my daughter immediately was like, that's my hat. And then my son was like, I want a rainbow bucket hat. So I crocheted one for him as well. I did use it's a US 8, not a US 8. It's a US H, but it's a 5mm crochet hook for this pattern. And the yarn I used was a worsted weight. So I will put down all of the exact colorway names below, but it is just Joann's Big Twist Value. It's 100% acrylic, and I bought a lot because I love rainbow projects, and I will probably be making more bucket hats. So first, a finished item, crocheted Rainbow Swirl Bucket Hat. Second finished item, also a bucket hat. So I followed the same pattern, the Rainbow Swirl pattern by PassionKnit Kelsie. However, I used a Caron cake in the colorway Grape Jelly. But yeah, I just didn't swirl colors. I just crocheted away. I used a 5mm crochet hook for this as well. This one feels a little bit thicker than this one. Just a little bit. But so cute. So cute. My daughter is a Rhea Ripley fan, and if you don't know, she's a professional wrestler. She wears purple and black. So my daughter was very excited when I finished this, and I actually crocheted a second one for my niece as well using the same color. So I'm going to get that sent off to her in the mail. But super cute. Yeah, I just followed the pattern to a T. You can purchase the pattern, or you can find it on YouTube. PassionKnit Kelsie Rainbow Swirl Bucket Hat. I just followed the YouTube tutorial because I have been crocheting for many years, and I basically just needed to get the stitch counts. But it's so good, so good, so good. So, oh my gosh, I completely forgot one of my finished objects. I will grab it in a minute. Let's start off though with a finished object I'm wearing. Oh, chair, no. You see, yes. Ta-da! So this pattern is the Sun and Moon Fade by Jamie Hoffman of Knitosophy? It's like philosophy, Knitosophy. But I started this back in March, and It is, the construction's so unique. You start in the middle and expand out, and then you just like pick up and stuff and knit in short rows, and it is so different. The construction's just so interesting, but there's a lot of like lifted stitches and counting, and I did not have the brain space for it until recently. So I started it in March, and then I had finished 3/4 of the front, and then I put it down and gave up on it for several months. And so I picked it up again and then just couldn't stop. I couldn't put it down. So I did the front in like the sun fade, and then the back I did in more night colors for a moon fade. And I knit a size larger than I probably should have. My gauge was a little loose, and I blocked it fairly aggressively. So it's a bit big, still super cute though. It's still super cozy for today because it's chilly outside. So it is so good. I knit this in Knitpicks, Hawthorne, Kettle, Tonal, and Speckle dyes. Let me, oh, I have the names here. Perfect. Sorry. This is the, are these the fronts? Yeah. So for the red front starting out, this is Jupiter Speckle, and then it fades to Hayden, and then it fades to Picnic Kettle. It is Hawthorne. I'm gonna focus. There we go. And then for the back, we start with Cosmic Speckle, the middle part, and then it goes till Sylvania, which is like this purpley pinky, and then it fades up into, oh gosh, I think it's Corvallis. Yes, Corvallis Tonal. But yes, oh, it's so good. All right, you can hear the dogs trotting around. They need a nail trim. But yes, I started this, once I picked it back up and finished just the top portion of the front, I could not be stopped, and I quickly finished the back in just a few days. Yes, and I think the pattern calls for a US size 4 needle, and I think I used a 5. So had I used a 4, it maybe wouldn't have been quite as big, but it's still super cute. It's super cozy. Like, it's more like a dress, but it's super cozy. I'm not mad about how oversized it is. So, okay, let's do rainbow bag. I crocheted a ginormous rainbow bag. Da, 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 da. So good, so cute. I'm calling this the Rainbow Shimmer Beach Bag because it's ginormous. All of the granny squares are 7 by 7, and I did use a size 5mm. So 5mm has been my crochet hook of choice for this yarn. This again is the Big Value or Big Twist Value from Joann's, but I crocheted 13 squares and then laid them out and slipped. Let me see. Let me sit down. I wanted to show you the bag, but it's a huge bag. So I crocheted the 13 squares, and then I joined them with a slip stitch all the way across. And then once all of the holes were filled in with the slip stitch join, I crocheted 5 rounds here in this middle V, and then around the outsides, and for the straps I crocheted 7 rounds of single crochet, and then I chained 70 for the straps. This bag is so cute, so amazing. It fits all of our swim gear for swim classes, so we've taken it a few weeks in a row. I don't mind it getting wet because it's acrylic, super easy care for, super cute. And the granny square is actually a pattern from a book. Let me grab it. Oopsies. I always get the name wrong, so I want to make sure I get the name right. A Modern Guide to Granny Squares by Celine Semaan and Leonie Morgan. I picked this up from Knitpicks when I was ordering some sock yarn a while ago, and yeah, when I bought all of the value yarn from Joann's, I was like, this will be perfect for granny square things. So I would love to make one more bag. There's like a citrus fruit pattern here, and I would love to make a citrus fruit bag. So I think that's on the agenda. And my daughter wants one of these rainbow macrame. I don't know if it's macrame. It's crochet, but you put a dowel through it and you hang it on the wall. So good. I love all these squares in here. They're so cute. But yeah, so there's a pattern for it. It's called Bright Shimmer, I think. It's a rainbow square. And yeah, I just made 13 and made it into a bag. And I love the bag. It's so good. So let me run and grab my other finished item I didn't bring out. I will be right back. Okay, so I had to run and grab this from my closet. This is the last crochet item that I made. This is the Lilly top by PassionKnit Kelsie. I again followed the YouTube tutorial to make this. I made the extra large size. I used the value yarn in just white, and then I used a 5mm crochet hook. I'm trying to think of what else I did differently. I think in the pattern she calls for cotton yarn. This is just acrylic, but I did add extra rounds here to give it some more length. I think that's it. Oh, I made the straps a little bit extra long so they could wrap around. Like, it crosses in the back and I have pretty broad shoulders, so I wanted to make sure the straps were a bit longer so they would go around. And then it also ties around my waist once as well, which is super cute. I'm not gonna change into this for reasons, but it is super cute to throw on. I have a cute elephant cardigan I put over top of it. It's adorable. It's perfect for summer. Super cute. I forgot I had thrown this up in the closet, and I've worn it like twice. I threw it up in the closet and I forgot to grab it when I grabbed all my other finished objects. So super cute. It's super duper cute. My daughter wants one. I don't think it's a little bit mature of a top for her, I think, for right now, but maybe one day. But I appreciate it. I think it's super cute. Okay, now we have socks, because we are in the like home stretch of summer sock camp, and I have been making some heckin' socks. I took a break. I think after my last podcast, I took a break and just crocheted quite a bit. I crocheted like 4 bucket hats, and I crocheted the bag, and I crocheted the top. But I realized that summer sock camp, the end was upon us, and I was like, I need to knit socks. Also, my niece is requesting socks, and she's 10, and I don't want to disappoint her, so I need to make socks for her. So we will start actually with socks that I finished for myself. I don't know if you've seen these. This colorway is from Desert Vista Dyeworks. It is a self-striping yarn, and it's called Donuts. I'll show you the tag. I think, yeah, this is not sparkly. What's the base? It's just a sock weight. It's 462 yards. But whoop, it's a 75-25 blend. It's called Donuts. Oh, they're so good. So I use the pattern Heel Toe Do-Si Do by Kay of a Crazy Sock Lady podcast. And then I actually knit these 2 at a time. I'm trying to think. I cast one on from the center pull, and then cast the second one on from pulling from the outside of the cake of yarn. And so they are perfectly inverse of each other, which I love so much. I did knit the size medium on the Heel Toe Do-Si Do, which is 64 stitches. I did not do, I think the pattern calls for a twisted rib. I did not do that. I just did a 2x2 rib. But yeah, I love that they're perfectly inverse of each other. They're so fun. And the sprinkles remind me of donuts and coffee. And I love them so much. I love them so dearly. I'm so glad they're finished. I bought this yarn and then proceeded to just stare at it on the shelf, and I love it, and it's so good. I did knit these magic loop on 40-inch US size 1 2.25 millimeter needles as well. So yeah, but I'll take them off the blocker so you can see it's like a chevron pattern on the front. And I've knit this pattern for many pairs of my self-striping socks. So yeah, just like a little chevron V pattern. So good, so good, so good. I think those are the only socks I finished for myself this month, because I was like, I'm only gonna knit socks that I have patterns for. And then I promptly decided that I wanted to knit vanilla socks instead. So I started knitting socks for my niece, but that's okay. So this next pair of socks is for my partner, Tim. He is a fan of ACOTAR. He is a fan of Throne of Glass. He is yet to read Crescent City, but I think he's going to. We're big Moss fans in this house, if you can't tell. So these socks are also from Desert Vista Dyeworks. This is a quart of colorway. They're so good. So I'm sorry, the stripes are the same colors as the paperback books in the series, which I have the paperback copies. Oh my god, and they matched up so well. I wasn't trying super duper hard, but they're like matched up perfectly. So again, Desert Vista Dyeworks. It came with a 20-gram mini, which I think I used up almost the whole 20 grams. I think there was maybe a gram left, if that. It was just a teeny tiny nugget about this big. Of the yellowy gold, which is the same color that's on the letters are this shade of yellowy gold. And then all the books are these colors. We have A Quart of Thorns and Roses, A Quart of Mist and Fury, A Quart of Wings and Ruins, A Quart of Frost and Starlight, and A Quart of Silver Flames. They're so good, and they're sparkly. This is the sparkly base. I think it's called Xian. But yeah, the sparkly base from Desert Vista Dyeworks. These are so good. I knit these on a US size 1 2.25 millimeter 9-inch circular. My Chiao Goose, love them. So good. Yes, I also have a second sock set for my little sister. So she is a Moss fan as well. I actually only bought one skein just for her, and my husband was like, where's mine? So here you go, honey. Here's some socks. So he has been waiting for these to be shared on the podcast so he can wear them. Hooray, done. They're just so good. Okay. Ooh. Sorry, my computer's right here behind the screen, and I accidentally hit a button on there. And so it like, on the keyboard, so it like flipped the screen of the computer. All right, next pair of socks. I knit these on US size 1. It's 2.25 millimeter needles. Sorry, I was just thinking, did I say how many stitches I cast on for these? I don't think I did. I cast on 64 stitches on the US size 1. I always do 64 stitches for myself and my partner. But yeah, so anyway, these are on a US size 1 2.25 millimeter needle. I cast on 56 stitches, and I did, let me take them out of the loop here. I did 20 rounds on the cuff, and then I think I did 40 rounds on the leg on these. I did these magic loop. They're a little bit looser than I normally knit, which is crazy. But these are for my niece. She's 10 and she's gonna love these. And then I did the slip stitch heel flap, and then decrease down the gusset, foot and toe. Maybe I did 50 rounds on the leg. I can't remember, but these are cute little stretchy, bright, fun socks. This is Knitpicks Felicini. The colorway is Ambrosia Salad, which is absolute perfection. I don't know if it's probably a southern dish, but I know I've like seen it in the Midwest and where I grew up. So I'm like, I think it came from the South and it was adopted by the Midwest. But yeah, 437 yards for 100 grams, and it's a 75-25 blend. But I got this on sale, like 40% off. I was like, I'm not gonna buy any more sock yarn. I'm done. And then I sent a care package to my sister, and my niece took her socks I made for her as well as the socks I made for my sister. And so I'm like, well, I'm gonna make her new socks. And then Knitpicks was having like a 40% off sale on all of their Felicini. I think I bought 10 skeins. But yeah, first pair for my niece. So good. That one was knit on Magic Loop, that pair. And then the other 3 pairs I have here were all on 9-inch circulars, US size 1, 2.25 millimeters. This is the second pair I finished for her. It is called Produce Aisle. This is just the Felicini parade. So I think it's named Felicini because it's named after the Felici yarn. That's really popular from Knitpicks, but that is sold in 50 grams and you have to have 2. The Felicini is sold in 100 grams, so you just need 1 for socks. But Produce Aisle, this reminds me of Sesame Street. And I don't know why. I think it's like Bert and Ernie colors and then Grouch. But yeah, US size 1, 2.25 millimeters. I did 20 rounds on the cuff. This pair I did 50 on the legs. And the slip stitch heel flap gusset. Also, I noticed my gauge was a bit tighter on the 9-inch circular, which is funny. Because usually my gauge is tighter on the Magic Loops, so. I don't know, gauge is changing, we're growing. So here we are. Super cute. Produce Aisle, Felicini pair number 2. Crinkle, crinkle. Oh, another Felicini pair. This colorway is called Sunday Game Day. No, I've gotten that wrong every single time I've talked about it. It's Sunday Day Game. Sunday Day Game. It's Mariners colorways. There we go. I knit these on US size 1, 2.25 millimeters. Maybe I knit these Magic Loop. I think I actually knit these Magic Loop. I was wrong. I knit the Ambrosia Salad in this pair Magic Loop, and then I knit Produce Aisle in this other pair on 9-inch circulars. Anyway, US size 1, 2.25 millimeters. I did 20 rounds on the cuff, 50 down the leg, slip stitch heel flap gusset down the foot to cute little toes for her. Anything else I want to say about these? No, they're soft. Like all of the Felicini has been very, very soft. Sunday Day Game. And they're Mariners, the Seattle Mariners colorways. Or colors. Which we've never been to a Mariners game, and I would love to go. I like going to live baseball games. It's super fun. I would also like to go see the Seattle Kraken. Love hockey. Anyway, sorry, distracted. Last pair of the Felicinis, we have Concession Stand. These were knit on 9-inch circulars. I know for a fact, I just finished these. So these are on US size 1, 2.25 millimeter 9-inch circulars, my Chiaogus. So good. These are perfect tween colorways. I sent this to my sister to be like, oh, I'm making more socks for my niece. And she was like, that's like 90s Taco Bell. Like if you had a teal cuff and teal toe, she was like, that would be 90s Taco Bell. I'm like, you're right. So again, 56 stitches, 20 rounds on the cuff, 50 rounds down the leg, slip stitch heel flap, decrease gusset down the foot to the toe. All of my niece's socks are 56 stitches. I think I knit 56 stitches for my daughter's socks too. Yeah, 56 stitches. So here, my niece is gonna get some Happy Mail socks for her. I actually have one more pair in my works in progress for her, but yeah, here's a nice pile of socks, and I think she's gonna love them. So good. Okay. widths. This pair of socks is living in my old food truck bag that I take everywhere with me. Love pretzels, love pizza, it's perfect. I purchased this bag at 614 Knit Studio in Columbus, Ohio. That was my former local yarn store. And I miss them, and I miss Andrea, and I miss Pearl, but it's okay. This pair of socks is for my niece. Again, I cast on 56 stitches on a US size 1, 2.25 millimeter 9-inch circular, and we are cruising. We are through the heel flap. We have turned the heel, and I have picked up stitches for the gusset. 56 stitches, 20 rounds of ribbing, 50 down the leg. These colors are so good. Again, we are using Felicini and the colorway Nessie. In the description, the description for this yarn is, "You named my daughter after the Loch Ness Monster," which is a Twilight reference. And I love it, I love it, love it, love it. I actually bought this yarn for myself, and then I bought another ball because I love it so much. So I have a ball for myself in my stash, and then I got another ball for my niece. But the colors are fun. I love the Twilight reference. I'm a big Twilight fan, so good. Again, this yarn is so soft, so squishy. And yeah, we are just cruising down her little gusset. It's so good. And all my little circulars. Hooray! I knit most of this last night. I actually started these yesterday, and I knit all of this while we were watching Shrek. We watched Shrek with the kiddos for the first time last night, and they thought it was hilarious, but I was just knitting away while we were enjoying that movie, which I've seen a bazillion times. I watched it growing up, so yeah, it was good. And then whenever I knit on 9-inch circulars, once I get to the toe, I always switch to magic loop. I can knit a toe on the 9-inch circulars, but it's kind of a pain in the butt. So I just switch to magic loop once I get to the toe. Okay, final work in progress, I believe. Drink break. Also, I realize I'm like zooming through everything. So if you have any questions, please don't hesitate to like ask them. Because I guarantee you I haven't told you how many stitches I've cast on for every pair. Like for my niece, all of her socks are 56 stitches. All of my socks are 64. But if you have any questions about yarn or methods, just ask. I'll let you know. I zoom through everything. So, ta-da! Last finished object, work in progress. Last work in progress is in my VonderKnits bag, which my sister-in-law gifted to me for Christmas 2 years ago. I love this bag. Purple and black, my jams. I'm so excited about this. Okay, so I'm knitting this project. This is the Monster Doodle Cow by Jamie Lomax of Pacific Knit Co. And it is one of the doodle patterns, and I am using Knitpicks Wool of the Andes. I have white, and this is not true black. What are you? You are penguin. So it's kind of like a soft black, if that makes sense. And then I have the color grass, which is a solid around here. I have knit many link tunics and hats in this colorway for my children. But this isn't the superwash. This is the worsted weight, like rustic yarn. Dragon fruit. Ocean. That's gorgeous. Lady slipper. And then solar flare heather. My daughter picked out all of these yarns for this project. Her eye for color is amazing. And yeah, I am making her the Monster Doodle Cow, again by Jamie Lomax of Pacific Knit Co. Oh, yes. Okay, we'll start at the top. Got a zombie here. Oh, so good. Eyeball. Black kitty cat. Dracula. Potion bottles. Oh my gosh, Frankenstein. And then stacked jack-o'-lanterns. This was the first chart I did down here. I realized I haven't used much of that purple. Maybe the next chart should have purple in it. I think it will. But yes, you guys, so good. I posted about this cowl in my Instagram stories. I was like, there are a select few people that I will do multi-strand color work for, because oh my gosh, I think at one point I was doing 4 colors just for one row here, but like all of this part here was 4 strand color work. And like, holy smokes. Multi-strand color work is no joke. And I have knit multi-strand before, but never like this consistently in a pattern. But these potion bottles, so good. Frankenstein. Oh, the jack-o'-lanterns. My daughter has asked for a monster scarf for like 2 years now. So I was like, this is the year she's getting one. Her birthday's in September. It'll be perfect back to school because we walk to school every day. It'll be perfect for that. So yes, it's so good. The only thing I'm sad about is the pattern calls for DK weight yarn. I am using worsted weight yarn, and I sized up to a 5mm knitting needle. I'm using my Knitpicks interchangeable wooden. I think this is a Caspian. I don't know. I have like the multicolor interchangeable set, but 5mm needles. So the charts are bigger, meaning I'm not going to get as many charts on this cowl as I want, because my daughter's 7 and I don't want her to be like swallowed by this. I want it just to like wrap around her little noggin once and keep her neck warm, just one layer instead of having a double wrap. So that means I just can't fit as many charts because they're already bigger, because the yarn and the needle are bigger. But that's okay. I can always make her more, or I can make her, I think I'm gonna make her a hat. Like I think I only have 2 or 3 more charts to put in, and then it's at like 23, 24 inches. So the smallest size calls for 22 inches, and I think the medium size is like 24. Basically, you knit to however long you want it to be. But I'm aiming for like 22 to 24 inches. I think I'm already at 19 when I measured. Oh my gosh, it's so good. It's so good. Sometimes I make things and I'm like, I made that. That's crazy. This is one of those times where I like sent pictures to my partner and I'm like, can you believe I did this? I'm like, it's crazy, but super duper cute. I love it. But yes, so that will be her birthday present. She's going to love it. She's been checking on it every day to see my progress. So I think I just have 2 or 3 more charts to knit, and then it's ready to be joined and then blocked. So that's super exciting. I'm super, super, super happy with how that's turning out. So I think that's it for all my stuff. I've been busy this month, mostly socks, but then some crochet. I took like a crochet break late July, and I'm like, I'm only crocheting. So reading and watching. I have not been doing much reading. I actually started a book by Holly Black, and I only got a few chapters in and I stopped reading it. It just, I don't know. I don't know if it's just I'm not in the mood for world building or what, but it's an okay book. I'm just not like, so instead I downloaded a bunch of free like smut books from Barnes and Nobles, and I've just been reading those on my Nook. So I don't want to think, I just want to like consume books. So just not well written books from Barnes and Noble that are free on my Nook. So anyway, that's what I've been reading. We've been still watching wrestling. SummerSlam was a few weeks ago and it was excellent. It was so good. I'm not gonna wax poetic about it. It was so good. We watched Shrek with the kiddos. That was fun. Last week, My partner and I watched Underwater on Saturday night once the kids were in bed. That was awesome. I was not expecting that. It's kind of like a sci-fi horror. It was so good. It reminded me of Alien. So good. It gave me the heebie-jeebies because I have a problem with like underwater and large things. It was so good. It made me feel yucky. So good. And then last night we watched The Purge, the original one from like 2012 or 2016. That was okay. I don't know. My partner and I usually, we're like, we like to have strong emotions about like our horror movies that we watch. So we're like, oh yeah, like we love like the OG like slasher films. Like we love Halloween, we love Friday the 13th, we love Nightmare on Elm Street. We love those. And there are some movies like Mother, like we hated. I know that's not technically a horror, but we like to have like either really like positive or really negative like reactions to movies. The Purge was just okay. I was like, it wasn't great, but it wasn't horrible. Like it was all right. The premise was interesting. I didn't feel like it was an actual like horror movie. I felt like it was more of a thriller. Maybe that's just me. Anyway, so yeah, we've been trying to watch movies on Saturday. Once the kids go to bed, we put on a scary movie, pop some popcorn, just hang out. What else? Oh, we went to Flock. Oh my goodness, I almost forgot. We went to Flock Fiber Festival last weekend, which is a fiber festival in downtown Seattle. This is its second year. It was at the convention center. We didn't go all weekend. We had previous commitments on Saturday, but we did go on Sunday all day. Oh, and it was so good. I wore my Red Moon sweater by Born and Raised Knits, and I got so many compliments on it. People really seemed to love it, and it was just crazy. It was so good being around so many creative people, being around people who love fiber. We saw some sheepies. We met Gabby of Plies and Hellhounds. It was so great. My husband was like, I talked to Jake. I'm happy. Yeah, and then we met the people of Geektastic Fibers. That was awesome. My partner Tim, he like lost his mind about their self-striping yarn, and then we picked up a few skeins from them, and then we picked up many skeins from Gabby of Plies and Hellhounds, and then my daughter actually picked up some fiber from Plies and Hellhounds to spin, and it was just so good. We stopped at many other booths. So we stopped at Skadden Woolen Works, which is our local mill. It's like 15 minutes away. So I was like, guys, like, I have so much of your fiber, like it's so great just to chat with you. And you know, again, I've met them a couple of times at like local farmers markets and stuff, but it was just good to say hello to them again. Yeah, it's just it was so good, and I felt so inspired, and it was awesome, and people just wanted to like talk yarn, and just like so good. We got there at like, I want to say 11:30, so we were masked up for that first part of it while we were there, and then you know, it was just good to see people being conscientious of other people. So great. We didn't stay much long. We were only there for maybe an hour. The kiddos were just tired. It had been a long week, but that was fine. We ended up carrying the kids out to the parking garage, and it was just so good. I was just so happy. I actually woke up Sunday morning. I was like, I don't know if we should go. It's like an hour and 40 minutes away. And then Tim was like, we're going, like we need to go. And I'm like, fine. And so he like got all of our bags ready and got like snacks packed, and like I am so glad he made me go. That was so good. So I don't know if other people do that, if other people are like looking forward to something and then they just decide they're like, it's just not worth the trouble. But like, no, like I'm so glad he made me go. I do that quite a bit, where I want to go do something and then I just like back out last second, but I'm glad we went this time. It was so good. So yeah, I think that's it. We're gearing up for back to school. That starts, my kiddos don't start until September. So we've got some time still, but we're done with clothes shopping. We're done with supply shopping. They're excited to go back. They're ready to go back. My son's starting his first year. He's so excited. So yeah, I think once they're back in school, I'm actually going to try to podcast every other week. I think I'll have more crafting time than I normally do. And yeah, I think it'll be more beneficial for me to share stuff with you every other week. So that's the plan. Probably mid-September, I'll start doing an episode every other week. So yeah, it was so good to share all the crafting I've been up to. Yeah, all the crocheting, all the knitting. If you have any questions, please drop them below. I'm so glad I got to share with you all today. And until we chat again, just take care of yourselves and take care of each other. Bye.